Guys, what's up? It's LA. Welcome to the LAX podcast. I have an awesome episode for you today. I have a special guest, Carlon McClerkin. He goes by Butterfly King on Instagram. He's a collegiate swimmer who battles hemophilia A, and he's on his way to go pro. So this episode, we're going to dig deep. We're going to figure out what he did to get to this level and what he's going to do moving forward as he tries to become one of the best in the world. We'll figure out how he navigates through his adversity, what inspires him, motivates him, and maybe you guys can learn something and apply it to your life. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy this episode. All right, guys. So welcome Carlon to our show. He goes by Butterfly King on Instagram, so you guys can follow him there. But man, today's going to be an exciting episode. We're talking to a collegiate swimmer. He's got severe hemophilia A, lives in Texas, and he's trying to take the sport as far as he can go. So hopefully throughout this episode, we can talk about, how you got here and, what your plans are moving forward. But welcome to the show, Carlon.
Yep. All right. As LA said, I'm a competitive swimmer. I've been swimming nearly my whole life. As I started, I was all over the place. My parents didn't know what was going on. They didn't know I had hemophilia A. They didn't know what was going on. I was going to the daycare and coming home with bruises, and my mom and parents thought I was getting beat up at a daycare. So they took me to the ER, and they ran some tests, and they're like, "Oh, he has a bleeding disorder called hemophilia A."
How old were you?
I want to say around 1 years old.
Okay.
But that's when I started wearing the helmet. And after that day, my parents found out I had hemophilia. There was no more corner tables around, none of that. They were scared I was going to fall, hit my head, all of that.
Were you the first in your family?
Yes, I'm actually the only person that has a bleeding disorder in my family. My grandma's brother had hemophilia, and he passed away through, he had HIV because of the transfusions.
Yeah.
And he passed away through a motorcycle accident. They couldn't help him in time. So since my parents found out I had hemophilia, they took away all the tables. And since that day, they're trying to figure out what to put me in. And my older brother, he was playing football at the time, and he was playing basketball. So I was like, "Hey, Mom, let me play football. Let me play football. Let me play basketball."
Yeah.
But we all know, having hemophilia A, you can't do those things. Well, You probably could, but wouldn't be.
I mean, there's people out there who are pushing the limits these days, and I think it's cool, but you definitely have to, take caution, man.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of things. The hemophilia world now compared to what it was when I was a kid, or compared to what it was years back, the medications changed.
Yeah.
There's medications that are out there now that where it takes away hemophilia from your stream, not fully take away, but like it does something with the factor 8.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it lasts longer.
Yeah, and you can go play football for whatever. But if you do those things, you must be careful.
Yeah, for sure.
So my brother was playing football and basketball. Then his first grade teacher was like, "Hey, your son is too active in class." So they put him in swimming. So I was like, let me try out swimming. So I tried out swimming that day. And ever since that day, I have been in swimming for the rest of my life. That is where it all started.
Really? So you kind of just knew right away, like, hey, man, this is it for me. Like, swimming's my thing.
Because I wasn't getting hurt. Injuries weren't a thing. And it was good for my muscles and my bones and everything else a part of my body.
Yeah.
Okay. The only way I was getting hurt was by doing stuff outside of swimming. Like, being that normal kid, want to go play football, pick up games outside, or want to go play basketball, pick up games outside. Like twisted ankle here or there, jammed finger. Like one time I actually hurt my hip because I was doing something that wasn't swimming.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of times like, growing up where you feel pressured to like play those sports with your friends and stuff and try to be a part of a group.
yeah, I ran through this one incident. It was when I was in high school. I was playing football at lunch with a couple of my friends, and they're like, "Hey, let's play tackle." But normally we
Mm-hmm.
just play two-hand touch and keep it moving. So I
Yeah.
was like, I can do a two-hand touch game.
Yeah.
That's nothing. Then they're like, "Let's play tackle." So I was like, "Okay, whatever. I'm big enough. I
Yeah.
can handle it."
Yeah.
So we're playing tackle football, and I go up and to try to tackle someone, and his knee goes right into like my temple,
Oh, wow.
and I just black out,
Dang.
and I'm on the
Swell up like
ground.
immediately.
Yeah, I'm immediately I'm on the ground for like 20, 30 minutes.
Mm.
Then I wake up and I'm at the door to enter back into the building.
Yeah.
Then I black out again, don't remember anything. Then I wake up again and I'm in the nurse's room.
Dang.
Then I wake up again and I'm at the hospital with my mom. So that's actually a bad story. The reason being is because the people I was around, one or two people knew I had the bleeding disorder.
Yeah.
The nurse knew I had the bleeding disorder, but at that giving time, when people came and told her who I was and what
Mm.
happened, she should have dialed 911 right then and there,
Yeah.
and I should have been brought to the hospital by the EMS instead of my mom.
Yeah. I mean, a head bleed is extremely dangerous.
Luckily, it wasn't that bad. It was just me getting knocked out, but things like that. That's why it's important for people in high school, people in college, people in any grade to let their school nurse know, hey, I have hemophilia A. This is what it is. And if things happen on this level, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily she called my parent and my mom came up to the school quick as possible. But
Mm.
if she would never came to the school, something could have went left
Yeah.
and she could have been in more trouble.
Yeah. I think a lot of people struggle with wanting to hide that part of their identity, or they don't want that association with who they are. And so, but like you said, in situations like that, it's extremely crucial that everyone knows what you have.
It's pretty hard trying to, like, yes, when I was younger, I tried to hide it as much as possible. But now that I'm older, I'm like, hey, this is who I am. Like, accept it, don't accept it. It's up to you. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna change. This is me. Like, I can do certain things, I can't do certain things.
Yeah.
But like, I understand on that younger level how you can be different. Because I was an African American male, and being an African American male, not playing football, not playing basketball,
Yeah.
I went through all those challenges, and people are like, "Hey, he's not playing football, so he's not black, or he's not
Yeah.
playing basketball, he's not black.
Yeah.
He's a swimmer, so he's white." So I ran into all those kind of things.
And you're a
So
big dude too.
yeah, so like trying to hide my
Yeah.
hemophilia was like the biggest thing for me when I was younger,
Yeah.
because it was like, oh, he's not doing this. So every time at school I had a chance to be normal, to go play basketball, to go play
Mhm.
football, to go play soccer, to do anything the other kids are doing, I was going to go do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then as I got older, I was like, hey, like, yes, I can do these things, but
Mhm.
I'm playing a risky game here. Like,
Yeah. 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 Sometimes, unfortunately, it takes experience, but
yeah,
we are though, that we're smart enough to know, like, eventually, like, okay, fine, I can't do it.
yeah,
Like, I know for me, I wanted to wrestle in high school, and I finally talked my mom into letting me do it. And I lasted 2 to 3 weeks, had a couple of bleeds. And then I was just like, okay, fair enough. I can't do it.
yeah,
Like, I tried, but like, I can't put myself through that. So yeah, we learn.
yeah. Then I had another experience where, so I was swimming all the way up until swimming was going amazing. I was elementary school. I was going to all the big meets for all the faster swimmers. Went to all of those meets. Sixth, seventh grade, went to all those meets. Then I started getting bullied in sixth and seventh grade, and I was like, "Mom, I'm getting bullied because I'm not playing football. I'm not playing basketball. I'm a swimmer."
Yeah.
So I switched schools, and the bullying kind of stopped. And I was like, I couldn't make it to swim practice because swim practice was on the other side of town, and my school was on the way on the other side of town. And I got out when swim practice started.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, the school had a basketball team and it had a flag football team. So I was like, flag football, not that much contact, let me. So I encouraged my mom and my dad, like, Mom, can I try it?
Yeah.
So I tried it. I played 2 games and I had an iliopsoas bleed in my hip. And and after that, boom, I was like, all right, well, there goes that. Wow. And I was good. I loved it. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But the bleed happened and I was in the hospital for 3 to 4 months. And I was like, well, here we go again.
Yeah.
So then basketball season came around. I encouraged them to let me do that. They let me do that. Then I had the same thing with my left hip. And I was like, well.
Sounds like that hip the target joint for you.
Yeah, my hips are pretty messed up now because of the iliopsoas muscle. But for the left one, I wasn't in the hospital that long. And I kind of got to finish the rest of the basketball season. Then after that experience, I experienced the difference between the different sports. I kind of like adventured out from swimming. Yeah. So I didn't swim none of 8th grade year. So I was like, yeah, it's time to go back. So I went right back to swimming 8th grade summer, made it to another big champion swim meet. Then after that, it's just been swimming.
Nice, man. So were you pretty good, like from the get-go? Were you just like naturally gifted at swimming, or is this something that you had to be like really work hard at, or did it just come really natural to you?
So at the beginning, it came to me because I used to watch my brother so much.
Yeah.
And like swimming, you can watch and you can do. Like some sports, you kind of have to get out there and like actually try it. But swimming, you can kind of watch and get some things from it. So I was just watching. Then I had a coach, and his name was Coach Mo, and he took me from when I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
And he coached me all the way up till I was 12, and it's just been going for it ever since. Like it came natural once I learned every stroke.
Yeah.
After I learned every stroke, I was just going with the flow and just kept going. And I mean, if you want to be at the Olympic level or at the age group top level, you're gonna have to put some effort into it. You're gonna have to be at practice every day. You're gonna have to make some places to be there, but it's not just gonna be like, hey, yeah, I'm a swimmer and I can just go to 2 practices a day and be great. No,
So like based off your experience so far, what separates people, like the winners, the losers, first place, second place, third place? What separates the guys?
Let's look at the greatest Olympian of all times. Okay. Michael Phelps, for instance.
Okay.
He went 4 years without missing a day of practice. And that's including birthdays, mom, dad, sister, brother, his own birthday. He was at every practice, Christmas, Thanksgiving, anything. And he was there every practice. So there's people out there that takes the risk of not being able to go to the high school games, the proms, all of that, and they take that risk to see the end goal. And his end goal was amazing.
Yeah.
Now, when I was in high school, I didn't go to too many football games or too many soccer games and all that, because I had the experience of an older sister, and she was on the dance team.
Yeah.
So what I did was I would go to swim practice, and my mom would come pick me up from swim practice, and I'll go watch my sister in the football game at the same time. So I was kind of already drained out from high school football games since I went through them.
Yeah.
When I was in middle school. So I kind of missed the homecoming football games and all of that, but it was worth it because where I am now is great.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. So I got a question for you. This one comes from Facebook because I asked people on Facebook and Instagram, like if they had any questions for you. And one person really wanted to know about your like diet, like what your diet looks like when you're like in competition and when you're
So
outside competition. And I know you just recently lost like 16 pounds, man.
Yeah. So that's actually like a very funny question. The reason why I say that is because when I was younger, I used to eat anything and everything I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like diet was not in the question until I got into like 7th grade, and that's where my diet came into play. But until then, I did not care about anything.
And you naturally had like a 6-pack too. I mean, I saw your old pictures and stuff. Like, you were ripped.
So like I didn't eat anything. Like my diet when I was younger was like Whataburger, 2 McDoubles from McDonald's, large fry, large Coke.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't care about my diet. Then recently I started to take into consideration when I turned like 7th, when I was in 7th grade, I had a swim coach and she was like, hey, if you want to take this to the next level, you got to do these kind of things. So 1 week up before my big national swim meet, I would just stick to chicken and pasta and water and Gatorade. And not even too much Gatorade because Gatorade still has that sugar in it.
Yeah.
So it would be water, chicken, pasta, and that's it for that whole week, the week and the weekend.
Yeah.
So throughout the swimming, I'm eating chicken and pasta. And as soon as Sunday comes around, I'm finished with the meat. Mom, she already knows what to do. She takes me to Whataburger, and I get the Whataburger.
Nice.
But that was really the only diet plan I had.
Yeah. So just lean meats and carbs.
Yeah, during meat and carbs. Then once I got to during high school, I kept the same routine the week before a swim meet and during the weekend of the swim meet, the same routine.
Yeah.
Then I hit a real bad spot in my swimming career where it was my senior year. And I was like, man, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm burnt out. I've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
I'm not getting anything from it. I just want to stop. So I stopped for a whole year.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I got fat. I just kept eating because I have a high metabolism. So I just kept eating, kept eating. And I started to see it.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, something got to go. So I started back training. I went to my club team, started back training there. And one of my club coaches reached out to a college coach in Great Bend, Kansas.
Yeah.
So I went to community college in 2019 or the 2020 year, last year. And I weighed in when I got there. I was like 230, 220.
Yeah.
So I was a big guy trying to swim. And everyone looking at me like, what is he doing here? But that's when I started taking my diet and things into real consideration. Because in order for you to be a successful swimmer, I mean, every swimmer has a different body type, but you mainly see all of them, they're all lean. None of them they're not huge.
In swimming, does it matter like how tall you are? Because I mean, you're pretty tall.
I mean, it plays a role, but it doesn't play that big of a role. I mean, there's people that's short out there that are still winning, but
really?
On a higher level, you mainly see people that are like my height or a little higher, but it doesn't play that big of a role.
Yeah.
Because the shorter you are, the quicker you are off the block, the quicker you are off the turn.
And it doesn't matter how much you weigh, right? Like anyone can go against each other. It's not based off of weight.
No, it's not based off of weight. Like swimming is this is why I love the sport of swimming, because it's all of what that person's put into it. It's a team sport, but it's not a team sport.
Yeah.
So me and the guy can be training together, but he can be training on a lower level and I can be training on a higher level. We're getting two separate things out of it.
Yeah. He
might not take it as seriously as me, so I'm gonna excel while he's stuck on that same level.
Yeah.
Because that is like the main thing I love about swimming, is because what you put into it is what you get.
Yeah. Yep. I love individual sports like that as well for that reason, it's all on your shoulders.
Yeah. Cause like football, basketball, like you can do it. It's kind of the same thing, but it's like you still have a team out there to help you.
Yeah.
Like
And it's fun to be able to experience that team environment too.
Yeah,
So
like it was nice.
yeah.
I told my mom about the team experience with the basketball and football. Like
Yeah.
I loved it, but at the same time, I'm like, nah, I really didn't like it because it was like I had to depend on other people
Yeah.
to do their part of the job.
I know, man. That's crazy. Yep. You could bust your ass, but if your whole team's slacking, then it's just like, man, we lost. You know?
Yeah. So that's why
Yeah.
team sports weren't really my thing.
Yeah.
But when you get to college, swimming is basically like a team sport.
Mhm.
You train together, you eat together, you work out together. And at swim meets, we're all together. We're all cheering each other up. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing effort when you get
Yeah.
to college.
Yeah. That's cool that you guys have each other to push yourselves.
Like,
What does a practice look like for you guys in college? Like, what is it? Like, how many hours is it? Is it like resistance training and pool training? And in the pool training, what's it look like?
it's a lot. So I'm gonna give you a little course of my first few weeks at college in Lindenwood, Missouri. So I got there on, let's say, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We had morning practice. Okay. And that was at 5 o'clock in the mornings on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then after morning practice, we get out we swim for an hour and we get out and do land drills for cardio workout for about 30, 40 minutes. Okay. Then we get out about 7, 8. Then we have school from 8 till about 12, 1 o'clock. Then we have another practice at 1.
Dang.
And we do swim for 2 hours. Then we get out and we go do the weight room for another hour to hour and 30 minutes.
Jeez.
Okay? And in the water, it all depends on what the coach is feeling that day, like, honestly. Because each person trains different things. You have a sprint group, you have a distance group, and you have a mid-distance group.
Okay.
So the sprint group, it varies. Like sometimes we do 10,000 yards. It like all depends.
Yeah.
Like one of my hardest practices ever was when it's on a new year. So every new year, my club coaches decide to do like this high amount of yardage.
Yeah.
So like 12,000, 18,000 yards and just go for it.
Dang.
So, I mean, swimming is definitely a demanding sport.
Yeah.
Like, but it does keep my body into good shape.
Yeah. Like how much cardio do you have to do to be like at the top of your game? Like how much cardio are you doing each week?
So my cardio intake right now is a lot. I run 3 miles. I bike 18 miles.
Dang.
And I do a lot of ab workouts since I can't use my right shoulder right now. So everything I do right now is cardio, cardio, cardio. And that's the best way I can do. That's the best thing I can do right now to stay in shape.
Yeah.
And I kick on a kickboard.
Nice, man.
While I'm in the water. So
let's talk about your injury a little bit, man. I got to meet you here in St. Louis because you transferred to Lindenwood, and I'm from St. Louis. So, man, when I first met you, I was not expecting you to be that big, dude. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, so they make swimmers look like this nowadays? Like, dang. So, but then you got an injury, and then like literally like I know you're pumped for the season. And then you messaged me, said you got a shoulder tear of some sort. So how you dealing with that, man? How's that setback going for you? And how do you feel?
So this setback has opened and showed me a lot of different things just because everything that has happened in this whole year, honestly, 2020 to 2021, ever since 2020 of spring break and now, with the COVID starting and school being delayed, the mask and all that other stuff has been going on, the racism and all that other stuff. Yeah. It's been a tough year. But when I went to school, I already showed up to school late because of COVID. And I was only swimming for about 4 weeks. Then my shoulder started messing with me. And I was telling my coach, I was like, hey, coach, something's wrong with my shoulder. And we thought it was tendonitis.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kept swimming. I kept swimming for about another 2 more weeks. And I was like, nah, coach, it can't be tendonitis. Something is actually wrong with my shoulder. So I go to a doctor in St. Louis, Missouri, and he goes, yeah, there is something wrong with your shoulder. You have a slap tear in your bicep tendon.
Dang.
I call my mom. I go, Mom, I have a slap tear in my bicep tendon. I don't know what that means. And me and my mom started looking up online, and it says, the one thing my mom pointed out to me was the only way that this is fixed is through surgery. And I was like,
Dang.
well, here
Yeah.
we go. But while I was at school, like it really didn't hit me that I was going to have surgery until I got home. And when I got home, I had the surgery on December 2nd. And I was like, well, here it goes.
Yeah.
Got the surgery. I was in a sling for 6 weeks. And the whole time during the sling, what I was doing was sitting on the couch, eating chips, eating food, eating Whataburger, eating anything.
Yeah.
And playing video games until 8 o'clock in the morning, not going to bed on time.
Yeah.
Just anything. I was not here.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask you, man. Like, what do you do like when you're going through, all that discomfort and you're trying to recover? I mean, like, I guess like you kind of just mentioned, like comfort food, video games, like, is that kind of how you cope with getting by? Are you depressed during that time? Like, is it?
Honestly, I felt like that time during the shoulder surgery for that, I was probably depressed for 2 months.
Yeah.
For that whole time. Yeah. I was depressed for 2 months because it happened December, January, and it happened December. So I was depressed during Thanksgiving and during Christmas.
Yeah.
During both of those 2 months. So I was depressed for about 2 months. And I didn't get out of it until January. That's when I started working out. And I was like, hey, it's time for something to change. Like, if I still want to go back and swim and see these things and do these things and actually want to make the Olympic trials and make the Olympic team, I'm going to have to stand here and make something change.
Yeah.
And my team, I started looking at my team results on the swim team at Lindenwood, and I'm like, hey, they're going faster than me. Like, I just can't sit here and eat and play video games and stay up until 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And expect me to go back on school and have a spot on the team still.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I talked to my dad. I was like, hey, Dad, I need help. My gym membership, I wasn't working at the moment, and my gym membership was $70 a month. And I was like, hey, Dad, can you pay my gym membership for these 3 months I'm not working right now? He was like, yeah, I got you. As long as you go every day, we're good.
Nice.
So my mom and my sister helped out with that as well. Then come January 1st, I was like, you know what? It's time to go.
Yeah.
So I hit the gym every day, Monday through Saturday, and I go on Sundays and I do a light little cardio session and I just chill out in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I was like, you know what? There's something else got to change, my eating habits. So that's when I started meal prepping. I started to meal prep, and I was meal prepping some chicken, vegetables, and brown rice.
Yeah.
And I do ground turkey and brown rice. Then I either eat breakfast or lunch. I don't eat both. They were around the same time. I don't eat both. Then I drink a whole gallon of water every day. And I eat my meal. After I eat my meal, I give me a little fruit, drink my water, and I'm done for the day. But after I woke up and started to know, like, hey, this is what I want to do for next year and what I can't do if I want to still be part of the team, I'm going to have to do this.
Yeah.
So come around, and so I started January 1st. I stepped on the scale. I weighed 222 pounds. And I'm like, well, I'm about to start back going to where I was last year. And I started looking at myself. I'm like, yeah, this is not going to work. If I if I even want to compete next year, somehow, some way, 222 pounds are not going to cut it. I'm going to be trying to lose weight all over again and not worried about swimming fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got that in my head. So I was going hard for 2 months, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Then I stepped on the scale March 1st, and the scale said 205. And I'm like, okay,
paying off, baby.
What I'm doing is actually working. Like it's actually paying off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, and it just kept me going. Every time I stepped on the scale and seeing my weight drop, I was like, I'm doing something right. This is actually working.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I love it.
Once I hit 210 pounds, once I hit 211 pounds, I went to a different club team and I was like, hey, coach, I'm trying to get my US Open cut this summer. Can you help me? And he was like, hey, I got you. Just let me know when you can be able to swim again. Use your shoulder, and we can go from there. And I went to therapy this morning, and my therapist was like, your shoulder's looking stronger. And I was like, yeah, it's feeling a lot stronger.
Nice.
And she's like, well, we're looking like we can be able to start moving your shoulder in the water at the end of this month.
Yeah.
So it's been about 5 months since. So I'm like, well, things are going up. So every time I get some type of good news, I use that as leverage to push me to go and keep going.
Yeah.
Like everyone has those hard parts of the training. Like I've been doing this all by myself with no trainer, no nothing.
Yeah.
And like there's days where I go in the gym, I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to work out. I just want to walk out. But it's like,
what motivates you, man? What motivates you? What do you have to tell yourself to keep on lighting that fire?
It's like me looking into the future. Like, if I keep going, this is what's going to happen next. And there's music I listen to that just.
So you got a vision. Like there's a vision in your head that you just keep on replaying and you're like, that's coming. I'm making that come true.
Yeah.
Like
So we're going to take it back a little bit. So when I was in the 8th grade, when I started playing football and basketball, and I got hurt and all the other things happened, I came back to swimming that summer. Okay. And I was nowhere near in swimming shape. No, nothing. I haven't swum since August and the end of the school year. And I went back to swimming. I was like, hey, coach, I'm going to make it to the big meet this summer. She was like, no, you're not. You haven't been here. I was like, yes, I am. And come to find out, I kept that vision. I went to every practice, every morning practice, every afternoon practice, every run. And I went to everything. And I got the cut. And I went to swim in Austin. And I got it. So my whole thing is once I put a vision in my head that I want something and that I want to do, I'm going to go get that dream and going to go fulfill whatever I need to do to get that dream.
Yeah.
So I've been going to the gym every day, cardio, swimming, all of it every day, haven't stopped. And whatever it takes, that's what I'm going to do. So even this summer with my summer job, I'm still going to be at practice every day, every morning, every afternoon, doing what I have to do in order to make my dream come true.
That's passion, man. That's passion. And that's just being relentless. And I love it, man. That's powerful. There's so much for people listening to learn from everything that you just said there, man, from the setback, kind of being like letting yourself take those 2 months to just be like, man, this sucks, and you let yourself kind of go through the emotions a little bit, you're eating bad food and stuff like that. But a lot of people get stuck in that part right there.
I mean,
they don't know, they can't see that light at the end of the tunnel, and then they just stay there. So I think that was the key thing, was the fact that you were able to pull yourself out of that with a lot of positive self-talk, with you said you were looking at scores to motivate yourself, other people's swim times, and just having that clarity of that vision, just reminding yourself of what that vision is. Why did you start in the first place, and keeping that vision alive, and then putting a plan in place. You did that. You started getting some results, which built a little bit of momentum for you. And then your therapy session today, another positive move forward. So I love it, man. There's so much to learn from everything you just said there. And that's what I want, that's what I really want to help people with is, not everyone has that natural passion, fire, and ability to pick themselves back up. And, I'm really glad you're able to share that. And so people can, like what would you give for advice for people who are just still stuck there? Like they have hemophilia, they've got these injuries, they're depressed, and they feel stuck. Like, how do you get back on track? And what if you don't know, what if you don't have that clarity that you have, like,
I mean, there's a lot of out of all the hemophilia patients in the world, or all the people that have bleeding disorders in the world, everyone has their different bleeds, their target joints. Everyone is different. I've been lucky to not have those target joints, those emergency bleeds. Once I start taking my medication how I'm supposed to, I haven't had a bleed in years.
Yeah.
And it's been an honestly blessing, because going through that pain on a daily basis, the ankles, the elbow, the knee, all of it, it's stressful. Because I went through it when I was younger. I used to have a bleed. I was in the hospital almost every month. And my sister used to get mad at me because I was in the hospital on her birthday month every year. It never failed.
Yeah.
And this year I was in the hospital to have surgery. So it never fails.
Yeah.
But what always got me out was whatever you like to do, if it's sport related, video game related, family related, I leaned on that for a while to just clear my head, just to get everything right. Because there's no way in the world that everyone has that moment where you're in your own little state and you don't want to talk to no one. You just want to just feel sorry for yourself. That's fine. Everyone does it, because I do it.
Yeah.
We all do it.
Yep.
But there's a time where you need to just look at yourself and say, hey, what do I want? What do I want to come from?
Yeah.
How do I want to get better from this? How can I stop these bleeds from happening? What can I get my bleed to do? How can I get my knee stronger? How can I get this stronger? How can I get that stronger?
Yeah.
Okay. And once you look at that big picture, you're just like, okay. And you see that, then you start seeing the efforts. You start seeing, okay, I haven't had a bleed since November 12th. Yeah. And it's January, March something now, and you haven't had a bleed. So that means whatever you've been doing good. So keep that routine.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah.
But what keeps me going, honestly, is I always leave time in my day to disconnect from the weight room, disconnect from the cardio, disconnect from the running, disconnect from the school, disconnect from everything. And my disconnect is me playing video games, or me watching a movie episode, or me watching YouTube motivational videos.
Yeah.
It's something that's not required me to sit and try to think and do my swimming.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love to watch motivational videos when I'm like down. I pull up motivational videos. Eric Thomas is a great one.
Yeah, I like him. He's really good, man. I've watched a few of his.
Like, he says one thing about lions and the gazelles. The lion wakes up. If a lion wakes up 24 hours out of the day and the gazelle wakes up 8, the lion's winning. So if you want something, you must be the lion to achieve it. Yeah. I'm not saying you got to wake up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning to go do this. I'm not saying you got to wake up every day, but if you want something, you must do that extra mile to do it, because there's someone in front of you already doing that extra mile to get there. Yeah. So that's my biggest picture, is looking at someone else and like, oh yeah, he's already doing that extra mile, so let me do that other mile before I can beat him to that spot. Yeah. Yep. Like, it's okay to sit, because I literally sat down playing video games for 2 months straight, not doing anything, watching TV, and just sat there and just sit. My mom would come in, hey, you okay? my mom had to force me to get out of the house
Yeah.
to ride, just to get out of the house. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I just wanted to sit here because I'm like, I can't swim anymore. Like, my swimming
Yep.
career is done. I thought nothing was gonna happen. I thought everything was just done. I'm like, well, 'cause I even thought about quitting swimming because of my shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I just can't give up yet.
That's crazy, man. We all have those thoughts, man.
Yeah.
Just that's I'm so happy that you were able to pull through, man. And I think like a lot of people, I feel like they think that they need to do like a drastic move in order to get out of where they're from. And I think that, you know, the key is to just do something like in the right direction, and then, you know, celebrate those small victories along the way. And then eventually they add up. And then before you know it, you're out of the hole that you thought you were once in, you know. And it, you know, mentally, some days mentally we're going to feel drained, we're going to feel hopeless, but keep on making small little moves, like moving forward, and eventually your mind starts clearing up, the vision starts getting more clear to you. So yeah, man, that's awesome. And you're just a winner, dude. Like, you're just a winner at heart. So I mean, you just like, there's no way you were gonna give up, dude. No way. Like,
I have a my parents always tell me I have like a strong motivation in me. And it's honestly because of hemophilia and everything I've went through because of hemophilia. The bullying to the injuries to the, because when I was younger, my mom used to give me my factor, and I started giving myself my factor when I was 8 or 10.
yeah,
And after I started giving myself my factor, my mom kind of like eased off.
yeah,
But I still wouldn't take it the way I was supposed to. My
yeah,
mom would try to give me McFlurries when I do my medicine,
yeah,
give me stars. She tried everything, and it still didn't work.
yeah,
But hemophilia has made me just a stronger person in general. I feel like if hemophilia can't break us and we won't let it break us, why would we let something else break us?
yeah,
If we're walking around with a swollen knee and we're still happy and joyful, why would we let something else break us when my swollen knee is still swollen and I'm still walking on it?
yep,
You see? And we have a very high pain tolerance that people don't even understand.
yep,
And yes, we let our pain get to the point where we're like, hey, I don't want to talk to nobody. I want to be by myself.
yeah,
But we get to that point because it's like we're so strong. We're like, we can keep pushing. We can keep pushing. We can keep pushing. It's okay to take that step back and be like, hey, I need to get this fixed. Then I can get back on the horse and keep going.
yeah,
That's what I failed to realize was I let my shoulder get so bad to the point where I needed surgery. And now I'm on a 6-month setback instead of a 2-week setback,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So it's okay to sit back and take a break and get fixed what needs to be fixed. But once that is done, get back on the horse and get it going.
I love it, man.
You know? But hemophilia is a blessing to me.
Like, and that was one of my questions. One of my questions I wrote down here was, if you could change never living with a bleeding disorder, would you?
Like, probably when I was younger, I would have probably said I hate my life because of hemophilia.
Yeah.
The reason being because the bullying, it was a lot and always hurt. Everyone's looking at you weird when you walk into the classroom. One day you walk in with a crutch, the next day you just walk in normally.
Yeah.
Or one day you walk in with a wheelchair, the next day you walk in. And it's like, it's so much to take in as a kid when you're younger because you don't know how to approach it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the help of another person that had hemophilia when I was younger to help me approach those kind of situations.
Yeah. Yep.
Everyone in my life didn't have a bleeding disorder. They didn't know how to react. Like, I had my parents there, I had my sisters and my brothers to help me through the pain and the emotions. They knew how I was feeling, but they didn't know the pain, how much pain I was in throughout the whole thing.
Yep. Yep.
So
that's the hardest part, is finding someone to relate to truly understand that pain that we feel, you know?
Yeah. One thing that really helped me like kind of get it going was I found out this camp called Camp Alapoma.
Uh-huh.
It's basically hemophilia backwards.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it was a camp for all bleeding disorders. And I started going to there. I went there like 3 years in a row, and I loved it because I found out there's more Black people that had hemophilia. There's more Mexicans that had hemophilia. There's more whites that had hemophilia.
Yeah.
I found out that it wasn't just me.
Yeah.
I thought it was just me that had this bleeding disorder, and
That's how it feels, man.
like this by myself. But once you find out there's other people that can help you, that know, that been through what you've been through,
Yeah.
it's easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a brotherhood, man. It's really special, and especially that's why things like what we're doing today are extremely important, because now we have podcasts and YouTube and this next generation of bleeders coming up. They've got this kind of material to look at, and to look at guys like you and be like, man, I want to go to the next level. Man, I've experienced a setback. Man, this guy's speaking to me. He knows exactly what I'm going through. And it's going to be so much easier for them to get encouraged and inspired by seeing someone just like them already accomplish what they're wanting to accomplish. And even if it isn't swimming, it could be anything in life. It's all the same like principles, that you have to go through. But yeah, man, that's so awesome. So what is that?
There's people out there that plays baseball that has hemophilia. They're doing amazing things. I think there's one in the league right now. So
dude, it's crazy. I mean, sky's the limit right now with all the new medication and people kind of pushing the limits a little bit.
Yeah,
it's cool, man. So I know times are a lot different than when I was growing up. I used to go to the hospital every time I needed an infusion. Now and then, it wasn't until I got older where it became available in home. And then now people are infusing on a prophy regimen. So before they get injured, before it was only when you got injured, you would get infused, which later on you found out that once you have a bleed, the damage is already done. So the goal is to prevent bleeds from ever happening by being on a prophy regimen. So, I mean, that alone has changed the game for the next generation. What do you, if you got one piece of advice, man, to pass on to the next generation, people, younger guys watching right now, what would that message be?
Honestly, if you're just starting off hemophilia, I would take your factor.
So be compliant.
Yes, I would do the shots, take the factor. And like, if you take the factor while you're young, I'm not saying you can go play football, you can go play basketball, but you can still go be a kid. If you're not taking your factor when you're younger, I feel like you have more bleeds when you're younger than when you're older. Kind of your bleeds kind of settle down as you get older because you're not as active anymore. You don't
a little bit more careful. Yeah.
But as you're younger, you get bleeds left to right, twist ankle, anything, elbow, fell down. I would just say take factor like you're supposed to, because that was my biggest thing when I was young. I never took factor when I was younger.
Yeah.
I took it, but it was like my mom, hey, come in here and get your medicine. It wasn't like, all right, let me go get my medicine. It was just like, come here, let me put your medicine.
Yeah.
But taking your medicine and just take advantage of your bleeding disorder. Don't let it run you. You run the bleeding disorder.
Yeah.
Because once you get in control of your bleeding disorder, it doesn't even feel like you have one anymore. Like there's days I come home and my body's aching and hurting and I'm like, and I just want to lay in the bed. But it's like, hey, if I keep moving, it gets better.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it, man. Thanks for sharing that. So what about the next 6 months, man? What are we going to see from Carlon in the next 6 months? What can we look out for?
This summer is going to be a very eventful summer.
Okay.
I'm going to be keeping my Instagram updated on my journey.
That's Butterfly King, right?
Yeah.
I'll post it for everyone to see.
I'm going to keep that going. And once I have my big swim meet come up, I'm going to let everyone know how it goes. Hopefully I get the cut, but it's going to be train the whole summer.
All right, man. We're watching you. We're cheering for you. You're going to have people in your corner, man. So make us proud.
I'm doing my best. I haven't.
I know you will. I mean, after this conversation, I know you will.
Yeah, I haven't stopped yet. I mean, my parents are amazing supporters.
Yeah.
My sisters are amazing supporters. My brother's amazing supporter. I have a lot of people that support me. And since I've been in the Hemophilia Foundation, I had a lot of people reach out to me on my Instagram since we got in our little Hemophilia group chat. And it showed me that there's people actually watching me.
Yeah.
At first I was just doing this because this is something I love. This is something I wanted to achieve, and this is something I wanted to do. But now that I think about it on the bigger and upper picture, it's like, hey, I got to show these people that hemophilia is just not a bleeding disorder where we got to lay down all day and not do anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We can take advantage of what we have and we can go and achieve it. So now I'm doing this for me and the other people that have hemophilia, so they can see that, hey,
dude, let that be fuel for you, because I promise you there's more people than the ones that are reaching out to you. There's people who are going to reach out to you in 3 years because they don't want to talk to you right now. And they're going to later on, they're gonna be like, hey, I've been following your journey for years, but now I want to come out and say thank you. You know, like I've had stuff like that, dude. I promise you there's people watching who maybe they're just not ready to let you know that, you know, they've been following you, that they're inspired by you. So just keep it up, man. You're on the right track.
Yeah. I put the effort in every day. I try my best. There's days where I don't feel like doing nothing.
Yeah.
There's days I just want to wake up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and be like, all right, well, let's get the day started.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, I'm not gonna get nothing done, nothing accomplished if I wake up that late, you know? And in order for me to have a productive day with the gym and a productive day with my homework, I gotta, you know, manage my time and get things done.
Yeah. So on your off time, when you're playing, you know, video games, where can people find you? On Twitch, right? You got a Twitch account, right?
Yeah. So honestly, if you want to follow me on my Twitch account, you can do that, and we can have any kind of conversations on there, because I can play video games. We can talk about hemophilia. We can do anything. Ask me any kind of questions you want. It's all free. I'm just there to talk and have fun.
All right. Send me your Twitch link and I'll post that in the video and on the podcast. So
I got you.
That'll be cool, man. But before we go, man, I'm going to wrap it up. But before we go, I got to pick a winner for Centrix, my protein sponsor, my supplement sponsor. They're giving away a bag, a bottle, a month supply of my fat burner, which is this fire fat burner. That's what I've been using during my prep right now. And then a month supply of protein. So I want you to pick a number between 1 and 8.
Let's go with 4.
4. Okay. Well, that is the one Instagram name that I do not know how to pronounce at all. Like Medka something. I don't know. I'm going to post the winner though, but we'll figure out who the winner is. That's their Instagram name. It's like Medka FOUGH. So we'll figure out. Hopefully you're in the United States. Otherwise, we'll have to pick another winner. But all right, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate you taking some time and jumping on today. So I think this message is going to be incredibly helpful to the community. So thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, no problem. I loved it.
Yeah, bro. All right. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.